All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Here I am once again. My name is Craig. I am your certified recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. You are watching our live at 5, and tonight we're going to finish up our leadership. What we are doing here every Tuesday at 5 o'clock p.m. We're going to be doing our mentoring. That's right, our M.I.T. Let me put the flyer up right there. And we're going to be doing this every Tuesday at 5 p.m. And this is something that we're working on. We're building up momentum. Mike can't be with us tonight. However, preferably he'll be with us next Tuesday. And so, who are we? And then just give you a brief synopsis of what this is all about. It says, we are men shaping and transforming lives one day at a time for a better tomorrow throughout our communities. All right. And so before we get into that, I want to discuss, let me get out of that. All right. And so before we get into that, I want to discuss what we're going to be doing tonight. Prior to that, I want to share a few promos. And so tonight, we're doing our mentoring at 5. Then at 7, we have our gratitude on Tuesday. Let me put that up so that you understand exactly what I'm talking about. It says Gratitude Tuesday. And so this is something that's going to take place tonight at 7 p.m. To our recovery coaches going to be here to present that as well. And so that is a preview of what we do here at Capital Recovery Center. If you missed it, you missed a great segment at 2 o'clock. We did our coffee and conversation. For all those who may not know, we have changed our hours for coffee and conversation from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So stay tuned for that. And so let me share some of the important stuff. And so tomorrow, Wednesday, we're having our robust, we're going to be at our mini park across from City Liquor in Millville from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There's going to be recovery coaches out there and providing services in the community. And so please come out and join that. This Thursday at 1 p.m., we have our all recovery hybrid meeting. This meeting here is also a hybrid meeting. And so what that entails that you can come and join us in person. We are located here at Capital Recovery Center. You can contact us at this phone number, 856-391-7449 or 1-800-236-2448. We're located at 72 North Pearl Street in the great city of Bristol. All right, and so that covers that. Oh, also this Saturday at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., we are going to be here in the office every third week of each month. Saturday, we are open to the public. We're having our open house. We're working on some great events for everyone in the community to take part of. So stay tuned for some of that. And so on this Saturday as well, they're having a walk for wellness. And this is going to be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Memorial Stadium here in the great city of Bristol, New Jersey. Stay tuned for that. All right. And so we have a career and resource fair that's going to take place here in the county of Cumberland, and that's going to take place on the 7th, June 7th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. They're going to have a host of people there. we have a rain date. If it rains, we're going to they're going to move it to June 14, 2022. Representatives from the following fields will be available: employment, social services, case management, treatment services, a whole host of other people. And also save the date for June the 22nd. There's going to be a virtual hiring event. And that's going to be sponsored by the New Jersey Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. And they're going to be helping those with disabilities and those who are part of the veterans community. All right. And so that's almost about it. Oh, the following Monday, on the 23rd, we're going to have our road bus. We're going to be located at the Millville Police Department, and someone is going to be out there for that as well. And so look out for that. So without further ado, we're going to get into our topic of the hour, and that is, let me put it up there for you. Bang. Qualities of a leader. 17 traits of effective leadership, part 3. We did part 1. We did part 2. Now we're going to do part 3. And so just to give you some of the things that we discussed in part 1 and part 2. I'm not going to be long with this, but we did cover in part 1. We went over 7 leadership skills or traits, and then from part 2 we went over from 8 to 12. Now tonight we're going over 13 to 17, and the first one we're going to talk about is a visionary. Now, for those who may just be tuning in, we're talking about qualities of a leader, 17 traits of effective leadership, and this article come from none other than asana.com. And this is some great information we've been going over for the past 3 Tuesdays. And so I'm learning a whole lot. I hope you can go online to our Cumberland County web page or Facebook page and check out all the good stuff that we have. So the 13 traits of a quality of a leader is a visionary. A visionary is a rather broadly defined term. Though you tend to know it when you see it, visionaries can see the end result before anything tangible has been created. There's often the saying goes, you have to visualize it before it materializes. And so a good leader, or traits of a good leader, is to have a vision. All right, and say this is why business owners and entrepreneurs tend to be visionaries. They can see a good idea come into fruition before anything has been created. Though not everyone is a visionary, you can still practice visionary leadership to motivate your team. Regularly challenge yourself to visualize the future by, and we're going to go over some things that they want to inform us about. And there's 3 bullets. It says, imagine what your team will accomplish in a year. And so here at Capital Recovery Center, our M.I.T. mentoring, we want to imagine some great things that we want to do, changing lives one by one in our community. Number 2, facilitating brainstorming and connecting ideas. It ain't all about me pouring into the group. It's about each one teach one, each one reach one. And so with that said, we're all in this together as a team. I said it before, there's no I in team. And so the 3rd bullet talks about motivating others to challenge their thinking. Wow. And so that is something to think about when you practicing leadership skills. Be a good motivator. You know, a lot of times you have to be enthusiastic about being a motivator. You know, sometimes some people are self-motivated. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I thank you for that, because you know, a lot of times people may need a little encouragement or need a little push, but then there are some people who are what we call go-getters. and that is part of being a visionary, seeking new ways to become better, not only within the workforce, but also in your personal lives as well. And so we're going to be practicing on a whole host of things. And so not only that our objectives we're talking about is leadership, we're talking about role models, how to empower one another, and then there's some key topics that we want to focus on, and they are recovery, because that's so important. We are Capital Recovery Center, and so that's one of our bases here of being in our community to help those and assist those with recovery, whatever it may be, whatever it may look like. We're here to assist you with that. Resiliency, helping someone bounce back from a downfall, picking them up, all right? And so restoring family relationships. So where ties has been severed, a relationship has been broken, things of that nature, we want to restore the family mechanism. Rebuilding finances. I talked about that briefly last time. Being an asset as opposed to being a liability. How to write a business plan, or how to do a budgeting, how to establish an account, how to mitigate your losses with some gains. All right. And the last one our topics that we're going to be talking about is restructuring community dynamics. Our community, whatever that community may look like for you, whether it be at your home, whether it be a rec center, whether it be a church, wherever you volunteering at, we want to restructure that where it looks like positivity in the community. And so let's talk about the 14th trait of a leadership. All right, let's talk about the 14th trait of leadership. And that is cares about others. A good leader cares about others. All right? And so that's what we want to talk about and focus on. And say caring about others is different from respecting others. Let me read that again. It says, caring about others is different from respecting others. The biggest difference is showing you care versus saying you care. It's often said, we often throw around the word, I love you, but they say love is an action word. It's not how much what you say, it's how much that you do. All right? It says both respect and care are needed for building trust and empowerment for your team. Look at that word again, empowerment. And that is part of one of our objectives, is to empower those in our community. All right? And it says to inspire others. It's important to invest in them and their career path. And so I think it's very important we as leaders, whether it be individual or collectively, is to invest in ourselves and those who are around us, because it's so important. If you don't invest in yourself, you don't believe in yourself, then who else is going to believe in you? All right. So without that personal connection, guidance can feel more like a directive. You can work on creating that personal connection by, there's 4 bullets: connecting with team members about more than just work. All right. So a lot of times we're open from 8:30 to 9 p.m. on Tuesday so far. The goal is to, when people are stressed out, frustrated, angry, dealing with a whole lot of pent up emotions, they can come here and connect with someone and let some of that stress or frustration out in a positive way. All right. And it says, asking your team members about their professional goals and interests. All right. Being an empathetic listener, being a good listener. A lot of times we talked about that before, about what it means to be a good listener. And a good listener is an active listener, one who wait till someone finish their conversation before they interrupt or have something else to say. Participate in team building games. Oh man, I love to play chess, and so it ain't gonna always be about a whole lot of information. Sometimes we're gonna have what we call, I would like to have what we have, a chat and chew session where we sit down and break bread and we share ideas and just see how someone's doing, not to get into nobody's business, but just to take a pulse beat and say, how are you doing today? How's things at home? How's things, coming along with the family and things of that nature. All right, creating personal connection with your teammates can empower your working relationships. It can even help cultivate good communication within teams, strengthening overall collaboration. There's a quote, I have a quote here I want to read, and it says, to me, being a leader is about the ability to influence, coach, mentor, and guide others toward an achievement. Leaders provide vision, and their success is defined by a team, not themselves. And so it ain't all about the individual, it's about the collectivity of us working together, building a brighter tomorrow. And so we just went over the 14 traits of leadership. And so as those who may just be joining, we're going on part 3 of qualities of a leader, 17 traits of effective leadership. And so this is something that we believe that is much needed, overly needed. It should, we need more of it in the community because we have a society, and I'm from the old school, and so I made mistakes, and I know people are, younger people, older people are still making mistakes. We all make mistakes. No one's perfect, and so we're trying to rectify the wrongs or the hurt that we have caused, whether it be in our personal lives or whether it be in the community. So that's why we are focusing on leadership, as men, because, the Bible says leadership, starts with the men at the house. And so I like to use that as a directive that as men, we are looked upon as the head and not the tail. All right? I ain't gonna preach to you. Once again, my name is Craig. I'm a certified recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. And we are talking about the qualities of a leader. And so we're on the 15th trait of leadership. And what it says, a leader stays up to date on trends. So a leader stays up to date on trends. What the article says about someone who stays up on trend as a leader. These days, you have to be tech savvy and stay up to date with new trends to deliver innovative results. Woo! I like that because, we deal with a lot of technology and we old heads. A lot of times we're a little far behind from the young people, but they can teach us a few things that we may not know. And so there's a lot of innovation coming on our way. And so if we want to be up to date or up to speed, we have to be willing to learn. All right. It says from new software capabilities like business process automation to AI. All right. And more, staying ahead of the curve separates a good team from a great one. AI, artificial intelligence. All right. That's some new innovation that's coming out. And so I'm learning about all this new stuff, algorithm, avatar, metaverse. And so I know a little something. I don't claim to know it all, but I know a little bit, just enough to get by. And so let's talk about what it means as a leader to stay up to date on trends. The best part about following industry trends is that there is an abundance of training and information out there. So if you're not in the tech-savvy bucket just yet, here are some ways you can improve your knowledge base. And so, I have an elderly mother, and a lot of times she gets frustrated because of the technology and things like that. But, especially our targeted population, there's some that's very savvy when it comes to tech. Then there's some that may not know how to even use the manual basis of a computer. And so we're here as recovery coaches, M.I.T. men in training. We're here to help you show you around how to navigate through some of this technology, and so that you don't be lost in the sauce. All right, that's just a little tidbit I want to add. Lost in the sauce. All right, there are 5 bullets they want to talk about staying up to date. It says dedicate time each week to learning something new. All right, never be afraid to learn something new. Follow technology leaders for industry trends. Attend conferences and networking events. Connect with a mentor who can teach you, like a recovery coach. All right, and say building knowledge base with best practices and related resources. All right, say due to the ever evolving nature of trends, it's good to practice these tips, even if you're skilled in your field. All right, even if you may be skilled as a carpenter, a welder, a forklift driver, a truck driver. There's always something that we can learn. Now, I'm gonna share this information. There's what they call fintech, the cloud industry, and that is basically PayPal, Cash App. Those are the new innovative ways of how people transfer account and money. And so you may not heard fintech, but if you have, that is something we all should be get familiar with. All right. It says that way you can continue to share innovative ideas that grow your organization to new heights. And so if you're doing a business, if you decide you want to open up a business, you'll be tech savvy. You know, it ain't all about just working 9 to 5. So, you know, you might want to expand what they call nowadays a side hustle, you know, but legally, you know, do things. You might want to even invest in the stock market. And that's something that you want to learn. I'm learning it little by little. And so here at M.I.T. Men in Training, we can talk about a little bit of that. And so that's part of that financial thing that we was talking about, building finances. And so we want to generate or build wealth within our household, within our community, you know, so keep that in mind. All right. And so 16, the 16 traits of a leader says, voila, is adaptable. You have to be adaptable. When you're in a leadership position, you're the first to know about challenges. You're also expected to be one of the first to respond. But your response should be logical and thoughtful, not impulsive or based on emotion. Let me read that again. It says, when you're in a leadership position, you're the first to know about challenges. You're also expected to be one of the first to respond, but your response should be, listen to this, be logical, be thoughtful, not impulsive, or based on emotion. This isn't easy to do. Our natural reaction is often to feel stress or worry in the face of problems. To build a better response system, practice workplace adaptability. All right. And so the article says it ain't oftentimes that we may have the coping skills or the technique to utilize when we're first faced with complex situations, but they're gonna give us some bullet points to consider. Building better adaptability in the workplace, whether it be personal or professional, will help you react quickly to inevitable changes. To build it, you can, bullet number 1, learn to embrace change. Don't be afraid of change. All right? Sometimes people are afraid to change. We just talked about being tech savvy, being up to date of trends. And so the article says being the 16th trait of a leader is be adaptable, learn to embrace change. The second bullet talks about practice mindfulness. Wow, using your brain, using your mind, using your self-talk to ration things out, to figure things out. All right, and the third one said take risks and move beyond your comfort zones. Wow. When I was in the TC program, my instructor or supervisor, he used to oftentimes say, we have to learn how to be uncomfortable, you know, because a lot of times when we get comfortable, because I asked him, I said, what do you mean we got to learn how to be uncomfortable? Because I want to be comfortable. He said, no, you have to learn how to be uncomfortable. And he said, reason being is that when we get comfortable, we become too complacent, and that's when we begin to relapse and start thinking about old behaviors. So when we start being uncomfortable, challenging ourselves to be more creative and more productive, then we ain't have time to be sitting around trying to think about the past. We think about the future. All right? All right. It says the 17th trait, let's talk about that. And this is the final one of what we're talking about. We're talking about the qualities of a leader, 17 traits of effective leadership. And the last one talks about stay open-minded. Stay open-minded. As a leader, we must stay open-minded, not closed-minded. The article says stay open-minded. Open-minded help you to see things from different perspectives. All right? And so when we talked about positive reinforcement, cognitive skills, you know, they talked about the ABCs of contemplation. And so it talks about being able to look at an event, being able to look at a event and look at it from many perspectives, not to be narrow-minded, not to be closed-minded, but to be open-minded. Like all good leadership qualities, becoming open-minded doesn't always come naturally. It's hard to view situations or team members without our own unconscious biases getting in the way. But open-mindedness can be developed over time. Create a more open mind in any scenario by asking this, not that. And so they challenge us to ask the appropriate question or to view things from a different perspective. And so there are 4 bullets they want to talk about before we close this out. And so before I get into that, no, I'll just get in and stay on that vein. And so the first bullet says, what are the facts? You know, you may ask the question, what are the facts? Versus saying, what do I think? You know, it's not all about me, I. It's about what are the facts? You know, what are the facts to being open-minded? How can we look at it? How can we view it from the basis of a fact-finding perspective? The second bullet says, what am I missing? Let's think about it. All right. We talked about using your mind. It says, versus what do I see? All right. Then the third one says, is there more to the story? Versus can I develop the story? See, it's not all about what I think. Now I'm interjecting. I'm posing a question to all those that's involved, whatever mentoring, whatever leadership skills that we're working on. Let's figure this out together. All right. And it says, who is impacted versus how I am impacted. You see this? You see where it's talking about who, what, instead of I, right? And say by including all potential stakeholders from every vantage point, you'll be able to see a bigger picture. This will help you to create a more open mind that shows others you're always willing to see their point of view. You see? And so I think, like they always say, you can catch more bees with honey than with vinegar. So be open-minded to the process. And so next week, we want to touch on the second objective. We just went over the first objective of men in training M.I.T. I'm giving you the objectives of what we're working on and what we're working towards. The third one is going to be role models. What a role model looks like to you. What a role model look like as a leader. What a role model means to be empowered and to empower others. And so, once again, my name is Craig. I'm a recovery coach, a certified recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. And so, tune in next Tuesday, live at 5. Don't forget, go get it, have your dinner or go get a snack. Come back. Tune in at 7. We're going to have a Gratitude Tuesday. Oh, there's going to be some great information. And so tune in for that. And so it's been a blast. And I'll see you next time. Enjoy. Thank you for tuning in. All right. Also, give us some feedback. Put it in the Facebook, put it in the chat, put it in the comments. Let us know how we're doing, how can we improve. Just share your ideas. We're not asking for a survey, just a little. It don't have to be a paragraph. It could be a sentence or two. All right. Thank you for sharing, being a part of this M.I.T. mentoring process. Thank you.